Hello everybody, I'm David and welcome to another one of my reviews. In this episode I'm going to review the Nikon 85mm prime f1.8. As with my previous reviews, the purpose of my reviews is to give you an idea as to whether this lens can be the right lens for you based on the type of photography that you do. I will go through the specs quickly with you. I will show you a few photos I've taken with it as well, both the raw files and the final images as well, and I will give you my general impressions after using this lens now for a good few months of how the lens has performed. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So this lens comes with the front cap, the rear cap and the lens hood. Let me pop down for you. So specs wise, let's have a quick run through those. Now this lens, as you can see, is very small and it's very lightweight as well, which is really good. It weighs 350 grams, which is 12.4 ounces, which is really good. And as you can see there, it goes from a minimum focusing distance of 0.8 meters, which is in feet is 2.62 feet, and it goes all the way up to 4 meters, which is 12 feet, and then up to infinity. As you can see on the side there, you got the autofocus manual focus switch, and as you can see on the autofocus setting, you got M/A, which means that even if it's set to autofocus, you can still use the focusing ring as well. Now, as you can see there, it says AFS, which stands for autofocus silent wave, which means that this lens will focus silently, quickly, and will be really accurate. Then you see it's got a G there. That means that this lens, the aperture will be controlled from the camera, which is the case with most modern lenses. So you're not going to have an aperture ring on the barrel. And other thing to mention is that this lens is optimized for use with full frame cameras. If you've got crop sensor, I do believe it should work anyway, but do check that if that's the case before you buy the lens. The way you know that if it's optimized for a full frame or crop sensor is because the crop sensor lenses, they've got DX written on the barrel, which this one doesn't have because it's optimized once again for full frame cameras. As I was saying earlier, this lens is an 85mm prime, which means you can't zoom in and out, so it's going to be fixed at 85mm. The reason why I bought this lens is because prime lenses tend to give really good results. They're really good quality lenses, okay? And personally, I don't mind the fact that you can't zoom in and out. The only difference is that if you're working with a model, for instance, with a customer, if you want to zoom in or out, all you have to do is move back and forth to get closer or further away from your subject. I personally prefer that, and I feel like it allows me to focus more on the composition and what I'm doing rather than thinking about zooming in and out. So I personally prefer that. The only thing to keep in mind is that if you're just starting off with photography, you're still building your kit, and you've got a limited budget. Well, you might want to think maybe you're getting a lens that is more like that allows you to do more things. So maybe you might want to go for a zoom lens instead. But if you already got, but in my case, I've already got a good few like zoom lenses and other prime lenses as well, and I need something to use specifically with headshots and portraiture, and an 85mm prime allows you, it gives you very flattering results. That's due to the fact that telephoto lenses, so lenses that are normally above 50mm, tend to they compress the scene, and with portraiture they tend to give really nice results. It just works really well, and that's why I bought it. And also because prime lenses tend to have, like in this case, tend to have a very wide aperture, like for this lens, we've got an aperture of f1.8, which allows you to really blur the background and remove any sort of distractions if you need to do that. That is. And in my case, for instance, I very often shooting lifestyle shoots in the city, that allows me to blur the background and really get all the attention on my model, which is what I want. Okay, so that's another thing I like about this lens, and the fact as well that having a very wide aperture, even in low light conditions, it performs really well. Now, also do keep in mind that there's a new version of this lens that's come out with an aperture even wider, and that goes all the way to f1.4. However, that lens is much more expensive. At least when I was looking to buy this lens, I looked up the other one as well, and the price tag is much higher. I looked up a few comparison reviews, and I would recommend you do the same as well if you're considering, if you're not sure which one to buy. And personally, from what I've seen, there's not such a huge difference in terms of performance, and for that reason I felt like it was not worth the extra money. However, if you got a lot of money to spend and you don't mind the higher price tag, then you might want to go for the other one, but that is completely up to you. Personally, I felt like this one would have been perfect for what I do, and I'm more than happy and satisfied with it, so that's my choice. Okay, so let me show you a couple of photos now. I'm going to show you a couple of headshots first. So let's just head over to my headshots gallery. So that photo was taken with this lens, and this one as well. And let me show you one more, and that one there as well, all taken with this lens. And I'll show you now a couple of my lifestyle photos. So that was taken with this lens. As you can see there, how nicely it blurs the background, which is something I really like about this lens, because it allows you to remove any sort of like distraction from the background and really focus the attention on the model. You've got that one there, and that one as well. And let me show you a couple more, these as well. Even here, also here, you can see how nicely blurred the background is. The background still adds context to the photo. You can still see the colors and all that, but you know, it's not distracting. That one, and that one. Let me also show you a couple of studio portraits as well. So we got that one there, all done with this lens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I will now go ahead and show you a couple of the raw files as well. So that one first, I've already showed you the edited version of that one, and that's the unedited raw file, so nothing was done to this photo. And if you just zoom right in, you're going to see how sharp the eyes are. Okay, so that's one, and let me show you that one as well. Zoom right in, as you can see, nice and sharp. This is a raw photo, so nothing's been done to it. You can see how sharp it is. And let me show you one more, that one as well, done in studio. As you can see, the left eye is nice and sharp, but as my customer was facing to his right hand side, the right eye is a little bit soft, which is completely normal. It's not a problem, but that kind of shows you how shallow the depth of field can be with this lens. If you want to, shoot with a shallow depth of field, the way, open all the way to f1.8, which is something that personally I just like the results really. Okay, so to conclude with, I'm really satisfied with the way this lens has performed overall. I'm happy with the build quality, I'm happy with the way it performs. This was a really sharp lens, and for the type of photography that I do, which is mainly portrait shot and headshots, it performs incredibly well, and you can't really go wrong with this lens. I would definitely recommend it. Then whether you go for the this one, or maybe you want to go for a new version, the f1.4, it's really up to you. But personally, I felt like the extra money was not really justified, which is why I bought this one instead. Also, if you're still building up your kit and you need a lens that will allow you to do many different things, maybe you might want to consider a zoom lens, but that will really depend on your needs really. If what you do is headshots and portrait shot, with this lens you can't go wrong, and once again would definitely recommend it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do let me know should you have any questions. You can put those in the comment section down below, and well, I'll see you next time. See ya.